That was arena soccer perfection.
With an absolute golazo. Goal! As good a goal as you can see. That was a heat-seeking missile.
Oh my goodness, Frank Tayu scores. Oh, heartbreaker.
And welcome into the Family Arena, ladies and gentlemen, for this divisional soccer matchup between the Milwaukee Wave and the hometown St. Louis Ambush. Down on the field, I'm Patrick Kelly alongside Matt Bird. And Matt, a tough loss for the Ambush last night. Lost 8-5, but dug themselves in a little bit of a hole.
Yeah, anytime you find yourself 7-1 down, by half-time, you're really up against it. If the Ambush are looking for any silver linings, they can look on the third quarter where they managed to peg 3 back. But really, Harrisburg were never in danger of losing that game once they assailed such a big lead. Harrisburg came in, 5-9. On paper, it looked like the Ambush were upset last night. But the Harrisburg Heat, beat the Milwaukee Wave a couple of weeks ago, and it's easy to see now why. Harrisburg were a tough, quick, strong team, and they really showed it last night. And today against the Milwaukee Wave, not a lot of rest. I'm really, really worried that the Ambush are slowly starting to feel the effects of a long season. They've played a lot of games compared to a lot of other teams in their division. And, 17 hours rest, it's not even a full day. They're really going to have to bring it tonight against a tough Milwaukee Wave team who are 14-3 on the season. Milwaukee Wave have had our number now for the best part of 4 years since the reincarnation of the St. Louis Ambush. And, no rest for the wicked. The Ambush have got to, they can't rest on their laurels. They've got to pick themselves up, and they've got to face Robert Renault. They've got to face Max Ferdinand. They've got to face Ian Bennett.
And it is going to be a tough game. As you said, a couple rotations with the Ambush in this lineup. One of the additions is a recent addition from the Tacoma Stars. Mike Scharf going to get one of his first starts for the Ambush.
Mike Scharf, he played for the Kitsap Pumas. Anyone who knows anything about soccer in America has heard the name Kitsap Pumas. They're a storied team out on the Bainbridge Island in Washington State. They're perennial overachievers in the U.S. Open Cup. They play in the USL PDL division, and I think they've been enveloped now into the Seattle Sounders MLS organization. Story team. You play for Kitsap Pumas, you've got something about you, and he's going to be a real addition to this team. He's a midfielder, he's a defender. I'm looking for him to get down and dirty. He's going to have to really scrap. He played for Tacoma, so he's played a lot of indoor recently, and with his experience in outdoor, I'm really hoping he can hit the ground running tonight for the Ambush.
It's going to be a very tough game against Milwaukee. What do you think are the keys to the game for the St. Louis Ambush in this very tough game against the divisional leader?
Well, they're going to have to shut down Ian Bennett for a start. Him, Renault, Max Ferdinand, they're going to have to shut down them. They're leading the leagues in all manner of points, assists, goals. But also Andre Hayne, we know a lot about Andre Hayne. He scored that fantastic overhead kick last year. He's well known with the Ambush. He played here for a year. And also welcome back to Chad Vandergrift. He's a St. Louis boy, played for the Ambush for 2 years. But the Ambush are going to have to get in their faces. I'm not sure that the Milwaukee Wave like it when a team is physical with them. We can't allow the Milwaukee Wave to play their game. We have to dictate terms on the field.
It's going to be a great game between the Milwaukee Wave and the St. Louis Ambush. We're going to have the call shortly, but now we're going to send it up to Brian for the pregame festivities.
It's the third of 5 meetings between these division rivals as the Milwaukee Wave come down to St. Louis on a cold day for this matchup against the St. Louis Ambush. Up in the booth, Patrick Kelly. Alongside me is Matt Bird. And Matt, this game, a big loss for the Ambush last night, unfortunately, but this is a game that they need to win if they want to stay in playoff contention.
Well, you know, it's easy for us to sit here up here in the booth and say that, but facing this Milwaukee Wave team is another thing altogether. They're 14-3 on the season. They're romping away with this South Central division. They're a great team. The Ambush, they've got a big task ahead of them tonight. But I've said it for a while that I think the Ambush play up to their competition too. And they're going to have to play up tonight, there's no question about it. As you say, rough loss last night. You know, anytime you spot the opposition 7 goals in the first half, you're really struggling. I think the Ambush are going to have to put that one down to experience, learn from it, go forward, and see if they can make amends tonight. But the Milwaukee Wave are top of this division for a reason. They're an extremely tough team. They score for fun. You know, you've got Ian Bennett, Robert Renaud, Max Ferdinand. They're standout players in this league. And then you add that, the likes of Andre Hayne, and we saw what he could do last year with that overhead kick. You throw in a player like him, who would be a star on any other team, but because of Ian, because of Max, because of Robert Renaud, you know, he's just one of the guys. You know, but he is a quality player too. So, you know, and 17 hours worth of rest. It feels like we've got deja vu again sat up here. It seems like I just seen you. The players are tired. They're physically tired, and naturally, but I think they're mentally drained. We're at the business end of the season. Things are getting really, really tight. You know, it's a 3-way shot between Orlando, St. Louis, and the Comets. And I think that loss last night put St. Louis Ambush a little behind the 8-ball. We're going to have to beat the Milwaukee Wave twice. And again, that's easier said than done. But we'll see what this team's made of. You know, on paper, the Ambush should lose, but they don't play the game on paper. We play it on turf, and anything can happen.
Starting goalie for the Ambush, it's going to be Paulo in net, and he's going to be posed by Josh Lemos, number 30 for the Milwaukee Wave. A perfect 9-0 on the year with 9 starts with a 4.12 goals against average.
So he's due a loss, that's what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely.
He's due a loss.
Got to get to him early.
But I think the Ambush absolutely do have to get to this team early. The Ambush were able to keep it very, very tight for the best part of 3 quarters up in Milwaukee in both games. And then here's the thing with the Milwaukee Wave. Once they smell blood, they're relentless. Once they know that it's game on, that they are relentless. If we can keep it tight, if we can keep it close, then we're in it.
As Reggett takes a hard shot from midfield, sends it off the end boards. Tried to go for that header, but goes away. Milwaukee working it up the far side boards and then back for Lemos. They're going to get started as both teams make changes. Rushing in to help is JT, but it goes into the corner for Max Ferdinand, and he loses that as Paul is able to grab it. Paul gets it to Douglas Dos Santos on the near side and moves it up to Pepe. Now Clayton playing a little further back, sends it into the corner looking for JT, but that goes out of play. So Milwaukee will get to take over in their own end.
This guy here, Robert Renaud, he is a big dude. He's a tank, but he can play. You know, he looks like a bruiser, but the guy has got some real skill.
Ruggles able to send it down the boards for Oliveira. Try to cut to the inside around Dos Santos, but has to move it back to Drew Ruggles. Fake the shot, has to go around JT. Now moves it over to the far side. At the yellow line, back to Ruggles. Walked closely by JT over to Oliveira. And a nice touch down to him. Gets around Dos Santos. Now takes a shot, and that goes off the near side boards. That's going to be a blue card on Paulo. He touches that outside of the box, and that's his second in 2 games. And it's going to lead to a penalty.
Ambush penalty, 2 minutes. Handball on number 17, Paulo.
That's the third in the 2 games. There was one for Harrisburg as well last night. And he was outside the box, barely, but he was outside the box, and by the letter of the law, I believe it's a penalty shot in 2 minutes. And they can complain and ask the refs to look at the board all they want, but I've just seen a replay. We've all seen the replay. He was clearly outside the box, Paulo.
So it's going to be Max Ferdinand who will take the penalty shot for Milwaukee. 8 goals and 21 assists on the year is Ferdinand.
And once the whistle blows, the ball is alive. Let's make some noise,
big
fans.
save on one of
Let's help out Paulo.
Paulo did save it last night, so same again, Paulo.
Again, ball is live the second the whistle goes. Players are ready at midfield.
JT Thomas going in the box for the ambush.
Taking his time.
Casual as you like, eh?
Now he's picking up his step.
Here we go, family.
He ran a lot last night. He's saving all the juice he can in those legs.
And here comes Ferdinand stepping in. The shot, it goes off Paulo and in. And Max Ferdinand has his 9th of the season. And Milwaukee gets the first goal of the game.
Well, that's a bit of a nightmare start for the ambush, I can't lie.
Hey, fans,
I kept saying they've got to keep it tight. They've got to get in the faces of Milwaukee. They've got to allow Milwaukee. They can't allow Milwaukee to dictate the play. And straight away, the ambusher find themselves in a hole.
So that goal negates the power play. JT is out of the box. And the pass goes to Stinson, immediately moved up to Joanne Laidley. And that's going to be a foul as Stinson was sent down to the ground. So Ambush get the ball right in front of Milwaukee's bench.
That was on number 26.
Starting up for Felipe, who had 2 goals last night in the match against Harrisburg. Pepe for McGee, now Felipe. He's going to move it back to his keeper.
The ambush have to stay out of the penalty box. That was a big issue I felt last night. Just silly, needless penalties given away. And the ambush have to stay out of the box if they're going to give themselves any chance of getting a result tonight.
McGee with Bennett right next to him goes to Paulo. Out there is Mark Scharf. His first game for the ambush coming from the Tacoma Stars, the St. Louis native out of Lafayette High School here in St. Louis.
Another good young prospect that St. Louis has produced. You know, we do have a history of producing good quality professional soccer players. And you know, everyone looks at the likes of Tim Ream at Fulham or Josh Sargent at Werder Bremen. But you know, you've got 2 guys. You got 2 guys on the way from St. Louis. We had Dylan Hundelt last night for Harrisburg.
Trying to find Mattingly, but header finds Dos Santos and goes out of play. Not only that, you have on one side of Milwaukee Wave, number 3, Chad Vandergrift from Chaminade here in St. Louis. And then you also have Chris Mattingly out of Chaminade as well. So 2 men from there, and also a USL man, Tommy Barlow, playing for the New York Red Bulls, their second-tier team in the USL.
We're a conveyor belt of talent, honestly. And it's good. As I say, everyone points to the big guys like Ream and Sargent, but we produce a stable of journeyman pros.
Almeida has some space to work. He's going to use it. Almeida 7 points in 3 games, which includes 6 assists.
And I've also got to say, you know, there's a lot of guys from Milwaukee watching this. They're not too shy in producing their own pros. You know, we've got Zach Reggett on our on our team. He's from Kenosha, Wisconsin. You know, you got USL and MASL standout Tony Walls.
Great pass up to Almeida. He has Zach Reagan, cuts the inside. Stinson shoots. He just misses it wide off the boards. Best chance of the day for the Ambush. They keep it alive. Zach Reagan, a shot. That gets blocked in front.
He will not get a better chance to score that.
Reagan again. This time it hits the glass. And is it going to stay in play? Yes. Bounces off the boards. Headed forward by Milwaukee. But Stinson looking to keep that in possession of the Ambush. Alex Bradley fighting for it. The UK native able to win it over to Lemos. Out of his box. Reagan pressuring him. And it goes forward to Curell. He's able to touch that forward. And a race for it, moving forward is Lee T. He takes a shot and he's able to get the goal.
What a move that was.
His 6th goal this season.
What a move. And it all goes back to the midfield. Ferdinand got the ball with a peach of a pass. I think it was from Drew Ruggles. He split the defense open. We're going to look back now. Here's Drew Ruggles. The turn he did before that was phenomenal. And Lita just he just had acres of space. Was able to pick his spot from distance still had a lot of work to do with that shot. And was able to beat Paolo low to his left-hand side. The turn from Ruggles, which we didn't see on the replay, was really good. The turn, he was able to find the space and pass it over to Ferdinand.
That's Leite's 6th of the season, and puts his team up 6-0 as that ball just went out of play, and it looks like it's going to go to the Ambush.
Not the best start for the Ambush. I think one thing that the Ambush have got in their favour is that no one expects them to win tonight. So the pressure's off. There was a lot of pressure on the game last night against Harrisburg, and I think that got to them a little bit. But they can play. I think they can maybe play a little freer, but that can also open them up. You know, if we
McGee holding his face, and looks like it might just be a foul. We would have seen a card already by chance. It's going to be on Hain. Bennett checking out McGee real quick.
I was on my soapbox there talking about last night's game, and I totally missed what happened. Here's a replay.
Trip on March 23rd as the Ambush take on the Comets.
A little push.
Trip includes a ticket to the game and a round-trip bus ride. $50.
But you know, if the Ambush play with a little freedom, they're going to open themselves up. If they take the game to Milwaukee, they can't leave themselves open at the back like they've done the first 7 minutes of this game.
Gets moved back for Paulo as the Ambush are making some changes. Paulo, nice pass, able to find Pepe right on his foot. At the yellow line, Pepe gets away from Ruggles and able to move back to McGee. McGee lobs that in for Joanne Laidley. Laidley in the corner. Nice move, able to win it to Clayton. Clayton loses the ball. McGee's right behind him to settle that. And then Marcos working it for Pepe. Mike Scharf. He'll go down into the corner as it goes to Felipe. Felipe, a pass towards the middle, looking for Scharf, but that's going to go into the corner. Now Andre Hain trying to settle it, able to calm it down now on the on the near side, rather, losing it. Poking it forward, able to get it to Oliveira. Long pass over, Renault took a shot. Didn't look like he got all that, though. So it goes back to the Wave. They cut in front, and then Paul is able to step up.
I think one thing that the Wave will be very cognizant of is the fact that they can't get any injuries. They've got the playoffs to think about. They're a shoe-in for the playoffs with the record they've got.
Good shot by Scharf from the far side corner. It's cleared out. Renault can't get past Robert Acosta. Acosta works it into the corner. Reggett racing after it. Zach Reggett, the Wisconsin native, gets there first. Holds on to it. Pushes off a man, then gets it to Felipe. Felipe motions the offense around, and then it goes back to Lucas Almeida. Now Clayton for Felipe. Over to Costa. Back for Felipe as Stinson comes out and gets it down to Reggett. Touch to Acosta. And Acosta in the corner. Tried to win it back to Reggett, but it's pushed away by Milwaukee. And they're able to clear it out and grab solid possession.
Just amazes me the first touch pass work that Milwaukee can do. You know, they just danced. They won the ball back from Robert Acosta there and just were able to ping. They control possession so well. And this team's been together a long time. You know, they've played together 3-4 years. They're very comfortable on the ball together. They know what each guy's going to do. And that, the stability of the team has been a big secret to their success.
Ian Bennett trying to get around Stinson. Stinson, an unbelievable second attempt to push that towards midfield. Grabbing that is Ricardinho. Then he loses it right back to Stinson. Stinson gets loose with it. Off the boards, Lucas Almeida now. Taking a shot, and Lemos got a piece of that. Looked like it was going wide, though, as now Van de Graaf goes into the boards with Stinson. Can't work it out. Stinson fighting for it. Two-wave in there, and they win it to Alex Bradley. In the middle of the field, touch forward, it finds Ian Bennett. Bennett down the right wing, trying to get around Felipe, and he stands up, and it goes back for Bradley.
Felipe upset there was no one there helping him. He didn't have an outlet even if he'd have won the ball.
Having his Vega. And then back for Josh Lemos.
Good save that by Lemos down there. I mean, you said it was going wide, but Lemos certainly couldn't take any chances. He didn't know. Nice dive, one-handed save, you know, just to make sure he went wide.
Dos Santos perhaps had a chance to go for a goal, but he saw Lemos racing back, so just establishing solid possession as it goes to Pepe. Well, Pepe able to feed it down to Dos Santos into the corner with Bennett and slammed off the boards by Ruggles. It goes to Pepe, the shot, and it hits the glass and goes out of play as we will have a timeout with 4:27 left in this first quarter.
Yeah, not the best start for the Ambush there. They went down early by 2-0 within, 4 minutes. But since then, they've managed to settle themselves down a little bit. Good possession work. But again, Milwaukee just look dangerous. Every time they get the ball, they manage to ping it about, especially on the counter. They just look dangerous, and you can see why they're 14-3.
Both teams talking it over in between this timeout. We'd like to remind everybody that the MSL now has a podcast. You can join host Craig Elston as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league and takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast as well. As outside of being on the team, the best way to know what's happening in the MSL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of all the MSL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio. And was definitely getting more offensive pressure towards the second half of this first half, especially getting some good chances on Lemos. And just same thing as last night. They're knocking off the boards, getting in front, but no one's able to get a foot on that.
You're absolutely right. But I do think that the Ambush are playing with a little bit more freedom tonight. There's no pressure on them, really. I mean, last night, I think the pressure of the occasion got to them a little bit. They knew they had to beat Harrisburg, and they kind of looked like a deer in the headlights when Harrisburg started coming at them. Tonight, I think they know that it's going to be a tough game against Milwaukee. They've mentally prepared for it. And they're tuned into the occasion. Right? Worst possible start, obviously, getting the penalty shot against them, and then what a goal by Lita, in the bottom corner. But since then, the Ambush have settled themselves down. They've calmed it down. They've knocked the ball about themselves. And I think they need that sometimes. They don't necessarily need to create opportunities, more just kind of dictate the play. Just get used to feeling the ball at your feet.
Nice. Settled by Kochikov, gets it in Mario Marcos, and then the ball knocked out of play, and it's going to go to St. Louis, much to the chagrin of Milwaukee. Now Vadim Kochikov stepping up. He has a lot of speed. He steps in a shot and a good save by Lemos. The rebound goes off the boards into Dwayne Laley. He gets taken down and he's in some pain. That's going to be a foul on Milwaukee. Some great footwork by Dwayne Laley to keep that ball with him.
Yeah, he just towed it back over his head and turned, and he got tripped as he went round. It was Stuart Grable that took him down. And the Ambush have to make the most of these opportunities, these free kicks, these set plays.
Clayton and Marcos lined up. Just the simple pass to Marcos, the shot, and a good block by the back of Renault.
But you mentioned there that they had the Ambush had a lot of shots and opportunities last night, but every rebound, every knock against the boards, it just seemed to fall to a Harrisburg player. And every time that Harrisburg went forward, everything seemed to fall their way, and it was just one of them games. It was just one of them games where the Ambush couldn't get anything going. They
deem a long boot off the one-timer from Marcos, and that goes over the net.
I do think the next goal in this game is pivotal. If Milwaukee starts stretching that lead, then the Ambush heads may drop, but one goal for the Ambush here and they're right back in it.
Ambush setting up some offensive pressure as Lemos leaves his net a bit. At the yellow line, passes it to Bennett. They have to move it back to again Oliveira. Marcos almost knocked that away from him. Lemos again with Scharf right by him. Waits, Bennett and Lemos go back and forth. Now the feed up, a nice one to Trammell. Now Alex Bradley. Bradley over to the far side and unable to take a shot, so he's going to move it back to Liete.
Also, the Ambush played last night, obviously, against Harrisburg, but Milwaukee played in Orlando on Friday. So yesterday was a bit of a travel day for them. But still, they just look a tad fresher. You know, that 24 hours does make a difference.
Pass up, able to find Bradley. Bradley wanted to leave it for Bennett, but Kochikov tried to knock it off the boards to Clayton, but goes too far for him. Drew Ruggles, as both teams making changes, slows it down. Now pushes it forward. Ricardinho has to back up and then back to Ruggles, and will just be moved to Lemos once again.
No danger of mistaking with Ruggles on the field.
Oh, absolutely not. I've hair written right next to his name just in case. But Andrew Haynes spinning around, and Paulo being careful this time. Didn't touch it. This time it's going to touch the glass, and good foot by Paulo to knock it up to Vadim, but goes back the other way. Stinson lifts it to Felipe.
And you know, that's absolutely right. They've got to do more of that, the Ambush. They didn't take any chances. They erred on the side of caution. They did the simple things right and got the ball away. You know, Paulo didn't take any risks. They got the ball over to Felipe, sorry, and he just booted it clear. They didn't try anything fancy, and here comes Almeida.
Almeida, if he can break away, but drops back for Felipe. 2 goals last night. Gets it to Zach Reggett. Reggett, the leading scorer for the Ambush, as Ruggles takes him to the boards. Joining in on the mix there is Vandergrift as well, so it goes all the way back for Paulo.
Real impressive defensive work there by Milwaukee. Almeida had a one-on-one for about 3 nanoseconds, and Milwaukee just swarmed him. Yeah, before he knew it, he had 3 guys around him, and all he could do was lay it off to Felipe.
Stinson gets knocked down, and then another knockdown, but that's going to go against the Wave.
That seems to be a running battle between Justin Stinson and Chad Vandergrift. Makes you wonder how many times that's happened in Slicer. In the past.
Oh, absolutely. Especially Lafayette and Chaminade do play a little bit in soccer. So they would have overlapped one year in 89 and 93.
Kokomo Joe's is located in St. Peters near Highway 70.
Of course, Andre Hain from Lindenwood, just a mile away from here.
That's your alma mater, right?
It is my alma mater, yes. As it goes off the boards, Ferdinand rather able to get it away, but now the ambush on a 3-on-2. Almeida has Felipe and McGee. Almeida in. Garo took a shot, maybe was looking to go off the boards, but it goes high off the glass. Goes right to Felipe, though. Trying to work past Ferdinand, the shot taken and gain a piece. That might have been Lemos as Almeida sends it towards the middle, but it gets cleared back by Milwaukee.
Not quite sure with that first shot what Lucas was trying to do there. He had Felipe on his left-hand side. He could have knocked it to. He went for the shot, but instead of going low, where it could have rebounded to Felipe, he went high and it went over. The rebound went over Felipe's head and he couldn't settle it.
103, and they have that delicious Enduro's.
First 4 minutes, I thought, we're in for a long night, Patrick. But the ambush have settled themselves down, and I think had you have given them Milwaukee a 2-0 lead, the ambush would have taken the end of first quarter being still 2-0. I mean, I was very concerned that we were really in for a long night, but the ambush it just seems to take them a while just to get into a game, get into their rhythm.
Who are you going to give it to? You give it to somebody loud and
I think given the nightmare start they had of being 2-0 down after 4 minutes, that Everton will be quite happy with the response.
There you go! Congratulations! You got that delicious Enduro's and Sons pizza.
But again, I just sit here sometimes and I don't say anything because I'm just watching how good this Milwaukee team is. You know, their one-touch footwork is absolutely phenomenal.
Really nobody on that team that you can really double team or look at, because at any moment you'll have Bradley, Ferdinand, Bennett, Ruggles, Renault, any of Andre Hain too. Any of them on the field, and you really need to.
Chris Mattingly was very good at man marking Ian Bennett out of games in the past. But as soon as you put, you take care of one guy, they've still got other weapons in the locker that can hurt you. All right, you take Ian Bennett out of the game, but you still got Renault, you still got Ferdinand, you still got Andre Hain. Lita just scored an absolute cracker there for their second. You still got Stuart Grable.
Macy, 104, she's your girl for that country club car wash.
They're just a really good team, this is what the ambush needs to aspire to be. And I have to think, even though Harrisburg's record wasn't that great coming into the building last night, but every time they play Utica, every time they play Baltimore, it makes Harrisburg a better team. And the ambush paid for that last night. I think they kind of took Harrisburg a bit lightly, and Harrisburg came in here thinking, we can win this game. We're not playing a really good Utica team. We're not playing a Baltimore Blast team that knocks us out the park every week. We're playing a team we can compete with, and they came in here with a game plan and did the business. And that's what the ambush have to do tonight. And let's not kid ourselves. The ambush have improved phenomenally in the last year. But I think last night the ambush got a little bit of jolt back into reality, and it makes Everton realise there's a lot of work still to do. And Shelley, the owner, they know that. They can't get complacent. They know that last night was a jolt. But I think you do learn more from losing games than you do from winning games.
The ambush will start with the ball for this second quarter rather. Clayton's going to get started. Both goalies retreat to their nets. We are set for the second quarter play. Move it back to the defense to start, and it goes all the way for Paulo. Now Felipe, hard off the boards, gets it to Robert Acosta, and he couldn't settle that properly, so it goes to Ian Bennett. Bennett to Bradley. Bradley waits. Beautiful pass to Luan Oliveira. He waited for a shot. Now back to Bradley. steal with Liete. With Reggett watching him closely, just goes to Lemos. Lemos steps forward, waited, and then sends it into the corner. Was looking for Bradley, but it's going to go bounce out. So Pepe will start it for the ambush. Milwaukee making wholesale changes.
7-2-7-2-7.
Paulo's going to send it all the way down, looking for JT. He's able to settle that properly.
See what I mean about JT and his hold-up play? He got the ball, settled it, and was able to find his man. He does that very, very well.
Now Douglas Dos Santos goes to McGee. Ambush forwards getting in position. It goes to McGee. Now over to Pepe. At the yellow line, he has to just send it right back to McGee. Pass to Stinson. Stinson, some nice footwork, trying to work his way around Chamali. It's pushed to the side, and then Chamali able to knock the ball away from him, wins it up to Andre Hain. Hain, the pass finds Ricardinho. He comes in down the left wing. Pushes away and tries to send it to him in front. A shot taken by Vandergriff, and that's able to go in off Apollo. Chad Vandergriff streaking in from off the bench, and he makes it 3-0.
Score by number 3, Chad Vandergriff.
And that's the Milwaukee game plan. They're gonna just possession, and then when they sniff a chance, they're gonna bury it. Really nice shot here by Vandergriff. Kept it low, took a little knock off Paolo, but still had enough to reach that corner. You know, coming in at speed like that with Vandergriff to take the shot, normally, you know, someone like me would blaze it high, wide, and handsome. He did well just to not lean back and keep that ball low. But Milwaukee, they're going to be patient. They're going to try and draw the ambush out. And then they're going to hit you.
Mario Marcos has a chance as it goes into the crease. Lemos knocked down. Now Clayton sends it towards the box, but ambush for pressure in there as Marcos almost had a really good chance. Good toss by Lemos, goes right to Ferdinand. Ferdinand can't get around Vadim Kochikov.
I think Milwaukee are happy to let the ambush have the ball. I think they're happy to let the ambush come to them. I think they've got enough confidence in their defense that they can handle whatever we can throw at them. They're going to try and draw us out, hit us on the break. You know, and they're not going to need a lot of chances to score and extend their lead.
Milwaukee's just slowing things down, change up 4 of the men on the field.
You know, it's getting to the point now where the Milwaukee Wave, they don't have to run, they don't have to chase this game.
Ferdinand just sends that back into his end. Josh Lemos gets it to Chamali. Lemos again. This time going, looking for Andre Hain in the corner. Hain backing up against Vadim Kochikov. And then Joanne Laley stepping in. He's able to take that away. And Vadim gets upended. Taking that right back is Milwaukee. They cut in front. A shot taken and a block in front by Mark Scharf.
Mike Scharf with a block on the line. That was fizzing towards him.
Beautiful save from Mike Scharf. Number 5 is now the Wave. The possession again back in their end.
Yeah, they're just gonna play with it, gonna ping it around, and if they get an opportunity, they're gonna score.
Bennett with a lot of speed, able to beat Marcos, then a shot saved by the right foot Apollo, and cleared out into that Milwaukee Wave fan section right behind the bench.
What I do want to mention tonight is there's a lot of Milwaukee Wave fans here tonight, and fair play to them. Fair play for traveling. I mean, the weather's not great. Really good support for their team tonight. Yeah, well, as a soccer fan, there's nothing better than getting on the road and watching your team win away from home.
The ambush will be doing that when they travel to Kansas City. You can go to STLambush.com, figure out more about that.
Yeah, they put a bus together, and I think that's a good thing. I think more fans travel into away games. It's go see the league, go see different stadiums, go see different grounds. I have to think that the Milwaukee Wave players come out here and see 75, 100 of your hometown fans here that've made an effort. It gives you a little pep in your step. It gives you a reason to come out and play. And as you say, when the Ambush travel to Silverstein Ice Centers, later on this month, they come out and they see a bus full of Ambush fans. It'll give them a reason to.
That again is on Saturday, March 23rd, as the Wave sent it in front. A huge shot taken by Robert Renault, but Paul is able to turn that aside, but it's going to be a corner for the Wave.
Paolo was upset at his defense that Renault was allowed so much time and space right in the middle of the box, though. He has right to be upset there.
Ferdinand, that will take the corner with Bennett up top. Him and Ruggles switch spots. Try to move it up, and it's stolen by McGee. 3-on-2 for the Ambush if they hurry. They have Mike Sharp. Goes off the boards. Finds Clayton. Clayton, as Ruggles beats him to that. No, it's Max Ferdinand. Ferdinand waits. McGee pressuring him, able to move it up to Ian Bennett. And then back for Andre Hain. The big man gives it over to Liete. Reggett all on him. Liete cuts through the middle. Now moves over to Ferdinand. Just approaching the halfway mark of this second quarter as it goes back to Viega. Ricardinho trying to get around Sharp. He can't do it, but goes to Hain. Hain looking for the spare on shot. Marcos down low. Now Renault shot and a big save by Paulo.
Massive save by Paulo. And then that goes high, wide, and almost into the upper tier here at the Family Arena.
Just about touched the rafters here as that's going to be out on the Wave. They're declared out right by the penalty box.
I want to see a bit more aggression from the Ambush. A little bit more in your face. I think we've made it far too easy on the Wave.
Trying to send it down to JT, a good header forward by Viega. Now here's Renault, pressure by McGee. Stinson able to intercept the pass. And then there's going to be a foul, it looks like, or a handball rather. It's going to be on the Ambush.
Yeah, he just kind of bounced up and hit Stinson's arm. I don't know if Stinson knew too much about it, but it hit his hand, it did. Yeah, I want to see a bit more oomph. I know they just played. They've got to be tired.
Now a big shot, and that goes right on to Paulo.
But I was talking to JT before the game, and JT said, we can't match Milwaukee. We have to make it difficult for them. We can't allow them to get into their flow. We have to get in their face.
JT able to settle that, gives it to Stinson in the corner. It goes back to Felipe, has some space, the shot taken. That was bouncing on him and goes into the netting.
I don't know if he was trying to blob a shot over the goalie's head or go for power, and he kind of did nothing, and he kind of sliced off his foot.
Long pass from Lemos to Ian Bennett. Bennett trying to get around Almeida. Slide tackle by Almeida. Gets that, and then good hustle by Bennett. Gets it right back, and then Almeida will take it right back from him. He's taken down, but able to move it up cleanly to Stinson. Rob Acosta goes into the corner. As Laley up front, and then gets it away from Josh Lemos. Goes to Stinson, the shot taken, that misses just wide.
That was a chance. Lemos kind of waited, and Laley just snuck in there, stole the ball away from him. Nice work by Lucas Almeida to take the ball away twice from Bennett.
Laley trying to spin around shot. That can't go. Now Felipe a hard shot and a good save, or Almeida rather, a good save by Lemos, and then it goes back for Acosta. Now Justin Stinson cuts it through to Almeida, tried to feed it back to Stinson, but it goes to Joanne Laley in the hot box. And It's going to be cleared out by Guilherme Viega.
And we have official.
Good little phase of play there for the ambush. It all started, as I say, with Lucas Almeida there. A real good tackle from Bennett, and then did it again and set Stinson off, who found a coaster, and then Laidley managed to sneak the ball away from Lemos as he waited for it. More of that. They need to get in the faces of this Milwaukee Wave team. They've made it far too easy, in my mind, for the Wave to dictate play. They've made it far too easy for the Wave to find passes, to find space. We've made it far too easy for them.
We're going to give Section 105, the king and his minions, some of these
We'd like to remind everybody that the Ambush would like to thank Miter USA for providing today's match balls. Miter, founded in Huntersville, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, started production in 1817. Miter is a proud partner of the Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and MASL2. The MASL and Miter share a long-term vision to see arena soccer grow in North America. Miter's Action Division ball is the official game ball for MASL League play. Miter's Action Division is designed specifically for play on artificial surfaces, features a more accurate flight path than the average ball, and has a 30% reduced bounce to make it play more efficiently in arena soccer. They wave just a quick talk, and they're already done with their little chat.
Well, they don't really need to talk about much. Their coaches are just like, more of the same, lads. More of the same. Everton's got his work cut out. He's got to keep some belief in the guys. He's got to try and instill a little belief in themselves, you know. But for some reason, the Ambush were very free scoring up until the last couple of weeks, and it's like we're just struggling to find the net right now. You know, lots of shots are coming off posts. They're high, they're wide, and what was going in for the likes of Reggett and Stinson the last couple of games has just not fallen their way.
The loose ball picked up by Hain in his own end. Dos Santos knocked him a bit, but now it goes to Drew Ruggles. Reggett on him, but it moves it back to Van de Graaff. Chino. Dos Santos near him, able to get it to Ruggles. And Ruggles keeps it on the ground, sending it down to Andre Hain. Hain with McGee at his back. Just sends it back to Chino up by midfield. Some changes made as it goes back to Van de Graaff. Reggett right by him, almost stole it right back from him. Once again, we move it back to Lemos successfully. Vieira sends it all the way down. Paulo able to grab that easily, immediately throwing it up to Douglas Dos Santos. Spin around at the scorer's table. Goes to Clayton. Him and Dos Santos go back and forth as McGee goes to Pepe. Pepe knocked down, hit to the face from Ferdinand. No calls. Ferdinand thinks he embellished that a bit.
Yes, he did. He's still having words with Pepe about it.
Goes now to Dos Santos near side. With JT down by the box. Give and go between Pepe and Dos Santos. McGee. Clayton on the far side. Clayton cuts out. Goes to McGee. Dos Santos again. This time they'll wait. With Mario Marcos now coming on for Dos Santos. Clayton cuts in, takes a hard shot, and that goes just a bit high and into the netting once again, as Lemos has not been tested much.
No, they really hasn't. But as I say, I think the Wave are really happy to let the Ambush have the ball. They can shoot out from distance. You know, they have enough confidence in their defense to deal with it, to Lemos to deal with it.
Stinson able to push forward. Can he get past two men? No. Upended by Chamali. Now JT trying to step in, but the Wave stay with it. Now crossfield on the near side. Lemos waits, sending off the boards for Renault. Renault pressured by Vadim Kochikov. He's able to steal that, and there's Mike Scharf. They'll take it back, and then the pass to Paulo. Good pass, goes right back to Scharf. Scharf trying to get around Renault. Double team. Bennett able to steal that away. Here's Bennett with a shot, and it may have hit Kochikov before it went towards the net. Bennett still pressuring Paulo out of his net, and JT clears that up in the air to Stinson. Looking to go to Vadim, and now
the blue card on the foul on Stinson. Renault's going in the box. Just want a quick word on Vadim Kochikov. 2 big saves, one off the line, a massive block, then a header away, and he managed to make his own play as he ran up the sideline, and then it was Stinson who was fouled behind the play. Excellent work from Vadim Kochikov. Saved the goal, started a counter-attack, and now the Ambush find themselves with a big chance to try and sneak away back into this game.
Arnold, agency, power play.
so Chamale to the box for kicking. Ambush 1 for 2 on the power play last night.
I thought it was Renault going in the box, but you're right, it's Chamale.
As they set 4 aside here. As it goes to Clayton. Nice pass off the boards. Finds Stinson. The shot goes off the boards right to Ian Bennett, and Bennett's just able to easily clear that out. Approaching the last minutes of this first half. As it goes to McGee. Now Lucas Almeida. This play creating space goes to Justin Stinson. Stinson again. Tried to feed it through to Reggie, but now McGee wide open. At the yellow line, steps forward down to Almeida. McGee over to Stinson again, wide open. Clayton takes a shot, blocked in front.
Well, they had to take a shot. I mean, they were pinging it around really nicely, the Ambush, but they couldn't find a way through the 4-man box that the Wave had set up. You know, they're happy for the Ambush to shoot from distance. You know, they've got enough faith in Lemos that they fancy their chances if they can keep the Ambush at distance. There we go.
Good shot by McGee, but Lemos saw the whole way despite through heavy traffic. The Ambush able to keep it in the Wave end. Stinson touched by Reggae. He's looking maybe for Almeida, but it goes right back to McGee's. Now Paulo's coming out, and out comes Pepe for the extra attacker. This worked twice for the Ambush last night as it goes off the glass for Almeida, off the boards in front to Lemos, and now Pepe has to race back. Lifted high in the air by Lemos. Kills as much time as possible, just 30 seconds left on the Ambush power play. Lucas Almeida waits, and now to Pepe. Try to go off the board, Stinson. Now Liete lost it to Reggett. Ambush still fighting for it. And goes to the boards, then one up to Chico. Or Chamale rather, is now Lemos. For Chamale, who's now out of the box, and it's Pepe in net. Chamale in, he takes a shot, and leg save by Pepe, and he holds on. How about that? Pepe goes back and makes a big save.
Best save of the night.
I think everybody on the Ambush bench was having a collective heart attack.
I was up here. I mean, I thought, uh-oh, we are in big trouble right now. Good save with his legs, and he just bounced up, and he's able to just pluck it out of the air.
Goes back to Pepe, touched it to Felipe, now finding Clayton. Goes off the boards to Stinson. Justin Stinson in a hard shot. He was trying to beat Lemos over the net. Or over his head rather, and that goes into the netting as Lemos is...
They're really trying too hard. The Ambush are trying too hard. They're rushing their shots. So like, even last night, how many shots were they just putting over the bar into the nets off the glass? They're trying too hard. They need a goal.
Renault trying to lift that over both Paulo and Scharf. But great defense by Scharf, following him the whole way and really didn't allow him to get any separation.
I've been really impressed with the kid.
You've played it for almost all over the world he has. You pick up some extra stuff as Renault being pressured by Paulo came way out of his net, but we didn't mention, I think we mentioned in the open that he has played in Sweden for a little bit. The Tacoma Stars obviously was traded for future considerations, and
a lot of young US players can go to Scandinavia. The work permit requirements aren't as stringent in like Sweden, Norway, Finland. A lot of young American players go over there and play in and play some real tough competitive soccer in the off season.
Ferdinand being held. I think he wanted a call, but he's able to move it back to his defense just fine. Now Chico cutting towards the middle, a shot blocked by Rob Acosta, and that's going to go up in the air and out, with just 11 seconds left in the half.
Well, the Ambush they've huffed and they've puffed. They've got nothing to show for it. They've kept the Wave to 3. But the Wave are in no rush. They're not piling it on, but they're just, every opportunity they can to score, they seem to be able to just pick it up a gear and find the net. And there's another.
Beautiful touch from Ferdinand, wins it over. And another goal for Milwaukee. They now take a 4-0 lead right before the end of the half.
They're just able to find that extra gear if and when they want. And, it's nice, but for the Ambush, they've not played bad. But I think it's a perfect storm. The morale from last night must be pretty low. They've not had a lot of rest, and now they've got to play the best team in the division. It's kind of a perfect storm. And as I say, with half a second left in the half, the Wave make it 4.
Guillermo Vega, his 4th of the season, as the Ambush pressure, trying to get one last goal before the end of the half, as Reagan went hard into the boards, but the horn sounds, and that is the end of the first half, with the Milwaukee Wave going in with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, the Wave have done what I expected of them. The Milwaukee have done Milwaukee things. The Ambush, they've got to find a way to be able to break that defense. The Milwaukee Wave are allowing the Ambush to run at them. They're allowing the Ambush to take shots from distance. But Lemos is equal to those shots. They've got to find a way to get through that defense if they want to get anything out of this game.
So the Wave lead the Ambush 4-0 after the first half. Stick around for the halftime show. We won't be on, but we're going to have a shot of the field as they will have the mascot game, the annual mascot game here at the Family Arena, and we will be back for the start of the second half. And welcome back into the Family Arena, ladies and gentlemen, for this second half of play. Patrick Kelly and Matt Bird with you on the call as the Wave jumped out to a 4-0 lead. They got that fourth goal with just 5 seconds left in that first half. And they went in with a big morale boost.
Well, it really was. I mean, at 3-0, you know, there's still a bit of life left in the ambush, and they were playing okay. They weren't penetrating the Milwaukee defense. You know, the ambush have had 6 shots, the Wave have had 10, but those 6 shots for the ambush have all been from distance. They've been speculative. They've not really tested Lemos too much. They've not been able to get past the back line of the Milwaukee Wave and really put some sustained pressure on Lemos. You know, Milwaukee have been able to absorb everything the ambush have thrown at them. And they've been happy to do that, and then every time the Wave have gone forward, they've been able to score at will, to be honest. You know, the Wave have been able to cruise through that first half. And I want to see the ambush be a bit more aggressive.
Ball is being lofted back and forth. Finally finds Paulo. The ambush trying to establish possession. Nice back touch to Paulo. Then finds Zach Reggett trying to touch it up to Stinson, but intercepted by Liete. He had the second goal in this game. Now it goes to Vandergrift.
It seems to me when Reggett and Stinson get frustrated in games and they're not able to play their games, the ambush offense falters, and that's a testament to Stinson and Reggett in a way, because they're just kids, essentially. You know, the responsibility can't fall on their shoulders every single game.
Reggett's just going to move it back to Justin Stinson. They've been out there so far for this entire third quarter. Now McGee down low, looking to feed Reggett. Instead, nice couple moves. He moves it back to Dos Santos. Now Zach Reggett. He holds on to it and waits, looking for the perfect pass. Gets it to McGee. McGee side touch to Stinson. And Stinson off the boards, looking for Reggett, and he's able to get that, but then it finds its way to McGee. McGee cutting towards the middle and drops it over to Stinson. Justin Stinson, a shot right on. Good save by Lemos, and the rebound by Reggett goes wide.
You know, I think that's the first time in this weekend that a rebound has dropped to an ambush player, it seems. And Reggett just wasn't able to steer the ball home. But we were talking at halftime, Patrick, that there's no doubt in my mind that Paulo's a better goalkeeper now, having been here a year. And you hope that the likes of Felipe and Marcos and McGee, you know, they'll come back next season better players, more experienced players, more mature players at the American indoor game. You know, it takes them a while to get used to this.
Johnson ball just a bit hard for a second for Paulo to read, and then it goes forward as a Milwaukee player is down and hurt. It looks like Reggett's going to get the foul there.
Ambush foul number 22, Zach Reggett, his first of the half.
He's down on the field is number
Oliveira.
Luan Oliveira. He's slow to get up, but doesn't look like they're calling for the trainers, and he's up.
Hey fans, ambush gear is now available.
Reggett still gets the foul.
Well, in the first jump, it looked like Oliveira put a little bit of elbow into Zach. Well, Zach was called for the foul on the second jump.
The winner will receive a Schnucks gift card.
Reggett tried to get a piece of that pass that finds Ferdinand, then stolen by Justin Stinson. Stinson cuts to the outside, now up against the boards. A nice pass to Vadim Kochakov. Vadim to Clayton, now Mario Marcos. Starts streaking down the right wing. Kochakov to Marcos.
Been really impressed with Vadim Kochakov. He's playing in an unnatural position. I think he's more of a forward-based player. Being asked to do a job, he's kind of filling in for Axel Duarte while he's injured in the back line.
Pepe tried to work that towards the middle. It's cleared high and out by Ruggles, and that's going to bounce once by the ambush penalty box and out of play. Quickly get that set back up again. Vadim wins it to Paulo. Paulo lifts it, trying to find Zach Reggett, but it gets deflected by Viega and goes back to Lemos. Long boot forward, trying to find Bradley. Bradley loses that to Vadim, who sends it back to his keeper. Pepe and Felipe go back and forth. Given over to Pepe and then back for Paulo. Paulo keeps it on the ground. It finds JT, but it goes through his legs and goes to Viega. Now off the boards. Chico gets it stolen by McGee. McGee trying to send it down to JT. A hard boot by Lemos. And now a shot taken. A long shot by Mike Scharf. But Lemos able to grab it.
One of the first saves that Lemos really had to face, really.
Paulo perhaps challenging Bennett. He will. Down goes Paulo, and that's going to be a foul called on Ian Bennett. But a good job by Paulo down on the ground, still able to clear that out.
Nothing wrong with Paulo's English there as he was having words with Ian Bennett. And they're still at it.
And now Paulo backs off.
Player foul, number 26, Ian Bennett, his first.
So he will get the call, and it's going to be Clayton that will take it, and he's just going to carry it out.
Same thing for the ambushes last night, you know. Everton's got to tell his players, look, they start the second half as if it's 0-0. What happened in the first half, happened in the first half. Nothing you can do is to change what happened. You know, get one goal, maybe get two. Let's get a bit of life into the crowd, and let the chips fall where they may.
Nemo's coming out of his net, a long boot, able to find Haynes, sells that with his chest briefly, being pushed up against by McGee, and now here comes Clayton, but it looks like McGee's going to get called for the foul as Haynes is down, slow to get up, but he is able to get to his feet.
His first.
I didn't know who the foul was on there. If it could have been either McGee or Clayton, the way Clayton steamed in afterwards also.
As the Wave lose it, it's Clayton. Clayton gets it to Mike Scharf. And it's back for Clayton again. And Clayton will go off for changes. Out comes Stinson. Felipe to Rob Acosta. Dropped for Justin Stinson. Got JT down low. They'll use the boards, and JT able to grab that. Knocked away from him and then moved up trying to find Ian Bennett, but it was tipped by Acosta, and that's going to go out of play. As a score update from Kansas City. The Comets up 2-1 over Harrisburg.
That's not good news for the ambush. No, the Wave did do us a favor beating Orlando on Friday. You know, Harrisburg laid it all on the line last night. We need them to do us a favor tonight.
Lemos long boot goes off the glass to Bradley in the corner. Bradley off the boards trying to find Liete back, and JT was chasing after him, but he's going to go off for a change. As it finds Oliveira. Off the boards, loses it. Liete knocks down Stinson, no calls. Stinson, good ball control to stay with it. Has some options. Down to Zach Riggett off the boards. It goes right to Josh Lemos. Lemos waits and heaves it forward, looking for Ferdinand. Able to get it to him and then moved all the way back.
Milwaukee doing a lot of resting in possession. They're controlling the ball, but they're also controlling their energy and their legs. They're keeping hold of the ball, resting in possession, letting the ambush chase after it, and just tiring us out, essentially.
Ricardinho gets a piece of that, touches the apron, and then Vandergriff is going to lose that to Stinson. Stinson has to spin up just at about the yellow line, and Moves it back to Dos Santos. And now Almeida, hard off the boards to Reggett. Looking for the give and go. Almeida takes a shot blocked in front, I believe, by Ricardinho. But Almeida gets his own rebound in the corner.
It's the first time in the game that the Ambush have been able to get behind and find a bit of space and had a really good look at goal. And Almeida, just his shot was blocked. I mean, Almeida did everything right. You know, credit to the Wave defender. He managed to get back there and block the shot.
Pepe, the touch out to Reggett. Reggett able to get to McGee, but it's on his off foot, so they move it to Marcos. Fakes it around Renault. No, fell for that one. Now McGee a shot, but that just barely misses wide. Ambush able to keep solid possession, though. Pepe to McGee. Down to Mario Marcos. Stinson will go down into the corner with Zach Reggett in the hot box. Pepe off the boards to Reggett. He tried to knock it hard off to find Pepe again, but now it's cleared by the Wave and a giveaway in front, and the Ambush can't get a hold of it. It goes to Renault. The Quebec native has his back to Stinson. Stinson fighting with it, and down they go. But Mario Marcos is going to come away with it. Marcos, he cuts towards the middle, can't take a shot, and then loses it to Ferdinand.
It's amazing how quick the Wave lose possession, but they're able to get their defensive shape back. And Ian Bennett is the last guy you need to have all that space up there. And well done to the Ambush defense for getting back and crowding Bennett out.
Good play by Pepe to win that through Bennett. Able to get it up to Clayton. Clayton with Ruggles. Ruggles knocked him down. It goes to Mario Marcos. Marcos, the shot blocked. And he goes back where Pepe grabs it.
The Ambush have had a lot of possession this third quarter. They've had a good couple of looks at goal, but you get the sense that the Wave are allowing the Ambush to do this. They're allowing the Ambush to make the running. They're allowing the Ambush to come at them. And if should the Ambush score, you always get the sense that Milwaukee Wave that know they can go up another gear and just take the game back. Should the Ambush get a consolation goal,
This is ridiculous.
it's really been a testament to the Wave how they've controlled the game by not having the ball. You know, the Wave have been able to control and dictate the pace. They've allowed the Ambush to have possession, knowing that they're going to limit the Ambush to shots from distance.
Oh, you guys, it's time for our Chili's hot section of the game.
They've allowed the Ambush to have the ball, and it's almost been a training exercise for the Wave to keep their shape, to keep their defensive discipline. Because I think that the Wave know that they're going to need their defense in the playoffs.
Every time you stop in, our hot section of the day, section 120. You guys are all
And they really have done an excellent job of
and you guys also have a lot of mascots
resting in possession when they've got the ball and keeping the defensive shape when they don't have the ball. And I use the phrase, you know, being able to step up a gear when they've needed to, but they're 4-0 ahead, and I feel that they've not had to get out of third gear to get that 4-0 lead. And again, I put a lot of that down to the fact that the Ambush did play a heck of a hard game last night. That was a battle against Harrisburg. They were up against it from the word go. But I think that the Wave know that they can give the Ambush the ball and let them shoot from distance. Their defense and goalie will take care of it. And then every now and again, they'll get an opportunity with Bennett or Robert Renault or Ferdinand or Hain, and they'll stretch that lead out again.
So just playing with it back in their defensive end, now picking up some speed and streaking down is Chico. Chico to Hain in the hot box, and it gets knocked away from him, then high up in the air. Scharf got a piece of that. Still bouncing, header by Vadim, but that goes right to Ian Bennett with Reggett pressuring both him and Ruggles. Ruggles able to peel away from Reggett.
But it's just another reminder for the Ambush. You know, we've been competitive in a lot of games this year, the Ambush. It's just another reminder of what they need to do, what they have to aspire to be.
They sent a bouncing ball into the corner, looking for Hain. Ambush immediately started back up to Paulo, going to Sharp. Felipe waits. Now to Vadim. Vadim, a long boot. Bouncing ball, looking to find JT. Nice header. JT still looking to hold on to it. He does. Now backs into his opponent. And it's moved back to Kochikov. Sharp again. As him and Paula just go back and forth. And Paula, nice lob forward, looking for JT off of a header from Stinson. It goes into the corner, and that's going to be a foul on JT.
You know, I spoke to Shelley, the owner of the Ambush, before the game, and I said, you know, tough loss last night. And she agreed, but I think she's overall very happy at the progression this team's made. We have to remember that this is the best season that the Ambush has had in their reincarnation. And it's just baby steps, a little bit of progression, a little improvement every single year. And I think it's a testament to the work that her and the ownership group and Everton have done this past year as to how disappointed the fans and the players were last night after that loss. Because 2 years ago, that loss would have been just a standard night here.
Milwaukee just using the entire field as a passing lane. They've really opened it up. Alex Bradley pushed up against by Vadim, and that ball goes out of play. Ruled to be for the Ambush, I believe.
14,
and it is. It's going to be a foul on Bradley. So lifted up. It goes to Reggett. May have gotten away with a handball there. Kind of got up in his forearm. Now Clayton, a long pass. Finds Dos Santos cutting towards the hot box. Still with the ball. Gets lifted high in the air, but stays in play. Dos Santos. Nice play to work it towards the middle. No one can grab a hold of it. Now Dos Santos does the shot, and that goes wide off the boards. Now Almeida loses it. Clayton has to step back and gets it to Vadim Kochikov. Kochikov forward. Outside touch to Almeida, and then he loses it to Ricardinho briefly. But it finds Clayton. Clayton on the near side. Works in. Trying to cut around and then the pass back, but the only person there was Marcio Lete. Renault will leave it as Chico gets pushed up against the boards by McGee, and that's going to be a foul on St. Louis.
McGee is second.
No, backcourt here for the Ambush in the third. They've had a couple of opportunities. Almeida had a good shot. DeSantos there could have maybe done better. A heavy first touch. But I think that the Wave have just controlled everything about this game. And a foul there on Chino.
Foul against the Ambush
by DeSantos.
Yeah, Chino goes down. This is just going to be just outside.
His third foul of the half.
The foul was against McGee and not DeSantos, as I said. His third of the game.
We're going to set up a two-man wall. It'll be Reggett and Clayton. Paulo ready for it. Jumping in is Mario Marcos. Liete, the pass over Renault. A shot, and that gets blocked in front by Marcos. But the Wave keep possession.
He felt that because that was a hefty shot that Renault put on that ball.
McGee pressure, knocked down by Chino. Almeida lobs it forward. Reggett able to settle it with his chest now in a fight with it. With Renault, sends him to the ground, and that's going to be a foul on Reggett.
His second.
No argument there from Reggett. He just put his hand out to Renault, picked him up. He knew. Zach Reggett he's wearing some sort of lightweight cast on his arm. He said he sprained it pretty heavily.
Stinson also wearing one for the Ambush. on his left arm as well, as Milwaukee tries to seam it through to the corner, but the ambush able to clear it all the way down with just a minute left in the third quarter.
You know, the ambush are a little bit of a mash unit right now. I mean, Axel's been out for a while. JJ Gibson's having surgery.
St. Louis still out for a bit.
I mean, it's that time of the season where, you know, every team's going to deal with injuries at this time of the season, and Everton's not going to use it as an excuse. But if you take 3 major players out of any lineup, they're going to struggle. And, you know, with all the knocks and bangs and dings that everyone else is dealing with, again, Everton's not going to use that excuse. Every team deals with that. But they are a bit of a mash unit right now, the ambush. I mean, you saw that. They're bringing in Miller. They're bringing in Eden. They're bringing in Mike Scharf. You know, just the healthy, warm bodies right now. And especially, you know, 4 games in the best part of 8 days. You know, the rotation aspect that Everton's got to deal with also. They are up against it. And
so after the header by Stinson went out of play, it's going to be Milwaukee's ball. Looks like they might take a shot at this, but they do have a lot of men back behind the shooter. Both Ferdinand and Oliveira. He cuts towards the net in front. No one could grab it, though, for Milwaukee. Ambush could have a chance if they hurry down to Joanne Laidley. Laidley in the corner pushes it all the way around, and that ends the third quarter. Stinson was streaking in down the center, but Milwaukee's still holding on to their 4-0 lead.
Better from the ambush, as I say. A little bit more looks, more opportunities. They couldn't make the breakthrough. I do feel, though, that if the ambush should score, it may wake up the beast. The Wave will go up a gear and just extend their lead again. I don't think that the Wave are in any danger of letting this lead slip. And it's really been a textbook performance, very professional performance by the Waves. I don't think they've really needed to sweat to keep this game under control. And, you know, I think if they can just control it for the next 15 minutes, get out of here with the win, get out of here with no injuries, you know, it'll be a perfect little weekend for the Milwaukee Wave. 2 away games, 2 away wins.
We are going to pick the apple, either an apple in the basket or closest to in the basket to win our huge prize.
Milwaukee's next couple games, they're going to be home to Orlando on March 9th. And then back at Milwaukee, another home game, that time on the 17th against this very team, the St. Louis Ambush. And then another home game against Florida on the 23rd. So 3 straight divisional games. And obviously the Ambush game big, but the Orlando game also another big game that the Ambush will have to be watching.
Well, the Ambush next week, we're away down in Florida, and that's a huge game with big, hopefully big playoff implications. If the Ambush can get back on track there, we're then away in Milwaukee and away in Kansas City.
I see another apple coming. Hold on, back up.
And, you know, no rest for the wicked. From here on out, we're playing South Central divisional opponents.
Let's see what we got. Do we have any apples in the basket? We have 1 apple.
You know, hopefully by the time that we play Milwaukee on the 17th, they'll have one eye on the playoffs and be rotating players, trying to get players back healthy. But I think that loss last night to Harrisburg was a real killer. Put the Ambush behind the 8 ball compared to the Comets, compared to Orlando. Orlando have got a few games in hand still. But all the Ambush can do is win out from here. I think it's going to take 13, 14 wins to sneak in the playoffs. Maybe 13, because I think we're going to have the head-to-head against the Comets. But the Ambush haven't been able to get 3, 4 wins on the bounce, and that's what we're asking them to do now, and it's going to be very difficult. But again, compared to last year, this has been a phenomenally successful season for the Ambush. I don't think we can get a little too downhearted, because they'll learn from this. They'll learn from this for next season. You know, the likes of Stinson and Zach Reggett, they'll be another year older. They'll be another year experienced. Same with McGee. Same with Mario
Once again,
Markov.
fans, season tickets for the 2019,
You know, it's a learning curve, and you just want to see incremental improvements all season, every season.
And free parking.
We'd like to remind everybody that you are watching the MASL on MASL TV, the streaming home of the MASL. Tune in each week for live action replays and highlights from your favorite teams. You can also get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Make sure you are following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter, as the Ambush will start with the ball for this fourth quarter in a bit of a hole. And it looks like Paulo is going to start this quarter on the bench as McGee grabs the extra sweater, and he's going to retreat back into the net.
And Lucas Almeida's like, well, at least I'm not wearing it tonight. But the Ambush kind of trotted out there. They looked a little bedraggled. They looked a little out of ideas. I think they know they've come up tonight against a really good team. I'd like them to get one, maybe two goals, just to give this crowd a little boost for coming out in the snow today. You know, and that maybe that's what Everton's doing here, throwing on the extra attacker. You know, because it did work last night against Harrisburg. They were able to claw 3 goals back in the third quarter.
Nice footwork by Stinson to work away from some men. Couldn't get a shot off, so they have to reconvene back towards midfield, trying to get it down to Stinson. That goes. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Stinson, sending one of the Wave players into the boards.
First of the half.
Slow to get up is Stuart Grable.
Well, that's one issue that the Ambush had last night, is that Stinson got into foul trouble pretty early in the game, and they weren't able to use him as much as they'd hoped.
I don't think he played the entire fourth quarter, almost all of it. Grable tried to send one to Bennett down low, but it's going to go to McGee. There's Lucas Almeida and Felipe going back and forth, but Felipe's pass just goes a bit too far past him. Almeida racing back, able to get there. Ricardinho backing up, giving Almeida some space.
I think Almeida got 2 assists though last night. You know, he's quietly been putting up the numbers this year. You know, I think he had a slow start because he was asking to play out of position.
Good play by Clayton to win it to Almeida, and then cleared in front off the glass. Now Lucas Almeida down low for Zach Reggett. Reggett backing up. Ricardinho comes in and knocks that ball away, but it goes right to McGee. Pressured by Bennett, trying to knock that ball away, and Ferdinand sending that ball into the stands. There'll be ambush ball at right about midfield.
You know, and I think the Milwaukee coach will be happy about this. He'll be happy that his team's going to be under pressure for the last quarter of the game, because that's what they're going to face in the playoffs.
There's Dos Santos, the shot, and a diving save by Lemos, and Ferdinand. Nice play to win that back. Long heave trying to find Robert Renault. Now Renault to Ferdinand. Almeida, the only one back, goes to Renault. Now McGee in net. Great play by Dos Santos to get back and break up that shooting opportunity.
Really good blocking there by the ambush. I mean, you'd have put your house on Ferdinand to put that away, but he tried to get cute there and find Renault, and Renault was squeezed out of the ball before he managed to get a decent shot away.
Great persistence by Kochikov, knocks that away from Chino, and touched up for Clayton. Now Clayton for Dos Santos. One back to Almeida, down to Reagan, knocked off his boot by, I believe, Renault. Well, there's Renault right there in a race for it with Acosta, and Rob Acosta able to get back.
Good legs by Acosta, yeah. Get to make up some ground there to get the ball back from Renault.
We've so far gone 3 minutes with a extra attacker here in the fourth quarter. It goes to Mario Marcos and then back for McGee. Marcos all the way down, looking for Kochikov in the corner, sends it off the glass. That was cleared out, and then Andre Hain going for it all. It's going to bounce off the glass, stay in play. And McGee will have to carry that out.
He'll be disappointed with that, Hayne. He's used to scoring world-class goals here.
Oh, absolutely. Just on this net, though. Is JT a long spin-around shot, same way he scored last night, and that goes wide. But now here's Liete picking it up. Pulls away from Marcos, and Vadim stepping back. And here's Pepe. Now near side, Mario Marcos. Goes to McGee, now Pepe. Knocked down by Chino, and that's going to be a foul on.
You know, Chino doesn't need to be giving the referee any lip there. I mean, he doesn't need to get a dissent call against him.
Referee correction, foul against the Wave.
Pepe argued that. There was a correction right there, Matt. The ref made a correction.
Well, I jinxed it yesterday. I said it never happened, and then it happened.
That did seem a bit peculiar that they were giving it to the Wave. Pepe got the right call, though, and here comes JT right down Broadway, the shot, and he misses just high over the net.
They're desperate for a goal, and they're snapping at the opportunities. They're rushing the shots. You know, that was a really good look that JT had there, and he rushed it, and he paid the price.
Great heave by Lemos, finds Ferdinand, and he's knocked down by Felipe, so Ferdinand will get practically a corner kick.
And Paolo's back in goal.
And they give it in front, trying to find Ian Bennett, but Felipe able to knock that away, then it goes off a hand, just off of Bennett.
As Paolo runs off again, and I guess he comes back.
He's just going to do a quick lap now. He's going to stay in the net for a bit as it's headed to Josh Lemos. A long throw forward, trying to find Bennett again, this time headed forward to Kochikov. Kochikov back for Paulo.
And Oliveira give him Kochikov a little dig there.
Pepe to Paulo. And now Felipe for Pepe. Stinson able to get down to JT. They have Douglas Dos Santos in front, but it goes back out to Stinson. Stinson goes hard off the boards, looking in front, and then Felipe's not going to be able to get there in time, so it goes to Milwaukee.
That was close from Stinson. He's usually good in that corner, you know. He's able to put a rocket of a shot away. We saw it when the Florida teams visited. He had success there in that right-hand corner.
Ryan Rosaldo, Cody Norton, Pete Wingler.
This really has been a very professional performance, this by Milwaukee Wave team. They've not gone lights out. They've not needed to, but they really have controlled the game well. You know, they know they're in for a long slog through the playoffs, and they're going to face a lot of good teams. They've just done what they needed to do this weekend and got out of Dodge with 2 wins.
Milwaukee just sending that back to Lemos. Now Ricardinho under a lot of pressure from Stinson. They both go tumbling to the ground, and that's more than likely going to be a foul on Justin Stinson.
Justin Stinson is second.
No, I think it was just frustration from Stinson. You know, not a lot of things have gone his way this weekend. He just kind of, everything kind of boiled over there.
There's Ricardinho now for Viega, and then just move it between Lemos and their defense. Lemos steps all the way forward, looking for Renault in the corner. Renault touch out with his arm, and yep, that's going to be a handball on Robert Renault.
A little harsh on Renault there. I think he was pushed into the ball, and it came off his hand. But
foul going right back against the ambush. Looked like Pepe.
Ambush foul number 18, Joanne Laley, his first.
It's actually going to be Laley with the foul as Bennett waits and then just toes that back to Josh Lemos. Nice one touches. Reggett trying to pressure Ricardinho, but he is able to safely move that back to Lemos. Reggett still pressuring, and now that leaves a man wide open. The header intercepted by Felipe. Felipe settles the bouncing ball and gets it to Zach Reggett. Reggett has to spin around, gets knocked off the ball, off the boards. Pepe steps forward. He's in and takes a shot that gets blocked in front. Lemos dove down, ready for it. Now Dwayne Laidley uses his speed to cut away, and out goes Paula to the bench. Out comes McGee.
Everybody clap your hands.
Douglas Dos Santos to the middle for Reggett, trying to win it to Dwayne Laidley, and Ferdinand just going to box him out, and Josh Lemos clears that to midfield. McGee, a good pass to Almeida.
Again, the Wave are real happy for the ambush to have the ball. They've got total confidence in their defense. They're happy for the ambush to shoot from distance. You know, and then this is real good practice for the Wave heading forward into the postseason.
Tip pass finds Ferdinand, and now to Andre Hain. Ferdinand again, nice give and go. He gets pressure by Almeida. Almeida able to steal that from him, but miscommunication. Him and Reggett run into each other. Here comes Chino in. Chino to Andre Hain. The shot in. McGee might have got a piece of that. As now Almeida trying to push forward with it. Able to get past Leite. He's taken down. That's a foul, and that is going to be a 2-minute penalty on Marshall Leite.
Well, you know how Almeida was past him. And Almeida had a clear run of goal for the most part, and the foul wasn't cynical in the fact that it wasn't a dangerous play, but it was cynical in the fact that Almeida was off to the races. And
all right, you guys, we're going to show you this replay here first.
Here's the replay. You said Almeida passed him, and he just held on to his wrist, then grabs his chest, and that's just a foul you don't need to take, especially in this situation.
No, I mean, you 4-0 up, and Hain was coming in. Hain was going to try and tackle him anyway. I mean, I said he was off to the races. He really wasn't, because Hain was coming in to make a tackle also.
2 tickets to Marcus Theaters. Are you ready for the question? All right, here's your
Now
question.
Wave immediately, after a quick timeout, break up their huddle, and they find themselves back on the penalty kill. 1-for-1 on the kill so far, the Wave are, and they did a great job. Really no chances for the ambush on that first power play, and did a great job of clearing the zone.
The ambush really haven't had much chances, period. But, you know, maybe with McGee back in with the goalie shirt on and with an extra attacker, maybe the ambush can get something going here and send this crowd happy in the respect that they've at least seen a goal by the home team.
So they are going to keep McGee out there, so it'll be 6-on-4 for the ambush.
But, you know, the ambush have played a lot of soccer with an extra attacker on, with Paolo on the bench. And, you know, you play with fire enough, you're going to get burned. You know, the Wave are leaving Bennett on there, on the field, because he'll fancy a long shot from distance if he gets a sniff.
Helping keep our players healthy and fit all season long.
So it's going to be McGee. That looks like it will start with it at midfield.
Let me hear your family arena. Who wants to go? Put your hands together.
He's ready to go, and him and Almeida just touch it back and forth. And McGee down to Stinson. Stinson cuts towards the corner, trying to get it down low for Clayton, and one up by Chino, a long shot, and Tremali rather, and that bounces off the boards. Almeida races back in. And it looks to be in a pretty good mood as it goes to McGee, down to Stinson, Stinson to Clayton. Clayton waits and gets it back up to McGee. Now Lucas Almeida, touch for Dos Santos to Reggett. He took a shot that was blocked by Chino, and then the header by Almeida keeps it in the offensive end, but they're going to declare it's a handball.
I think it was a high foot.
Ambush foul number 15, Dos Santos.
You know, just a high boot.
Is first. Also a delay of game warning against the ambush.
The ambush kicked that ball right after the foul. They get the delay of game warning as well, and the ball will be at the O line. Wave will start with it. McGee retreated back into the net and then comes out to play it. Under pressure as Chino pushes by him and he gets the open netter, able to beat past McGee and past Clayton. And it's 5-0 now for the Wave.
I think that's the first short-handed goal that the Wave have scored this season. Certainly the first one that the Ambush have conceded this season. Again, you play with fire enough, you're going to get burned.
What you say?
Clayton did a great job of racing back, just wasn't able to get there in time, and I didn't know if there was much he could do there anyways.
You know, McGee just had his pocket picked again. He kind of up against the boards. He didn't know whether to stick or twist, try and play the ball or just boot it out. In the end, he did neither, and Chico just picked his pocket, and it was an easy finish at the end.
The Ambush still on the power play for about 45 more seconds as it goes down to Stinson, back out for Clayton. And Stinson to Reggett. Reggett the shot, and that just barely misses wide. Another shot taken by Almeida, and the flag safe. Now a third shot taken. That one misses everything. Reggett and Stinson going back and forth. Lifted to Stinson in the corner. Able to get around Viega too. Reggett in front, and he fanned on that. Ambush still pressuring Dos Santos. A huge shot, and Lemos takes that right in the chest. 15 seconds left on the power play. Dos Santos down low. Back out Clayton. The long boot. He shoots and scores. Clayton, the first goal for the Ambush. Able to beat Lemos. It's 5-1.
Well, finally, this crowd have got something to cheer about. It's actually a really, really good finish. Lemos was beaten by pace. Really good finish. And a little something for this crowd to hang their hat on. It was Almeida who laid it off. A lot of space out there, and woof. You know, and Lemos will be disappointed, but he was beaten by pace.
Power play goal, his 10th of the season, scored by number 12, Clayton.
Just 5 minutes left. He loses his shutout as well. That would have been his first of the year.
But you know, Clayton's not shy about shooting from that far out. He'll fancy his chances. I mean, he didn't really pick a spot per se. He didn't go for a corner. He just whacked it.
Renault going back and forth is sparring with Kochikov, and that's going to be a foul on Vadim. Milwaukee getting the ball.
Vadim's been having running battles all game with the Wave midfielders, and he just needs to calm down a little. He doesn't need to see any time in the box. You know, a little of the sees a little red mist sometimes, Vadim.
Leite to take the shot, instead defers it to a pass, and they're just going to keep this back with their keeper. So the Ambush got the power play goal. As it goes to Chamali, and Lemos with space. Off the boards trying to find Robert Renault. Renault cuts around Vadim Kochikov and then to Ferdinand. He goes back to the defense. 4.5 minutes left as Lemos cuts forward. JT cutting in on him, but goes into the corner. Renault able to settle it. Still bouncing, joining in is Sharfa in the mix. But they still get it to Ferdinand. Lifts it over the net, but too high, and that's going to go into the netting and be St. Louis ball.
Powell had that covered all the way. I mean, he tried to lift it over him. It's difficult when you're that close to get it up and down so quickly.
Paul under a lot of pressure from Ferdinand, knocking off the glass, and Pepe, good passing, finds Stinson on the far side. Milwaukee still pressuring as they are able to get past Bradley. Pepe turns upfield, goes to Dos Santos. Douglas Dos Santos trying to find Reggett maybe for a tip. That goes wide and right to Chino. Chino couldn't get around Pepe, then the second shot taken goes out.
They're looking for a restart at the top of the box here.
They are going to get that. Everton called it right away the second it entered the bench area after it almost hit him.
Get the feeling that Everton would claim for anything if he thought he could get away with it, though, you know.
Kind of like Gordy.
Yeah. Yeah, but Everton does it while he's stood on his feet. You know, he doesn't have to dive to the ground like Gordy. I say that in jest, Gordy.
We love Gordy. He's the nicest guy ever.
He is the nicest guy.
One of the only guys in this league where you can see his smile clear as day from up here.
Because he knows he's good. He knows he's good. He knows where the goal is. And he does what he needs to do to win games. Just like these guys in yellow right now. And today they've put on a bit of an exhibition in how to control a soccer game for 60 minutes. And that's not easy in this league.
Ambush going to go with the extra attacker again. McGee comes out and Zach Redgate hands it to Clayton. Pedalay Clayton.
This Sunday, you can use his full Sunday name.
I don't know why. I just had it in my head. Like, we used to call him Pedalera, and it just popped out. But Clayton able to move it back to McGee. Clayton trying to win the race, able to get past one man, now up against Chino, and that's going to be a foul on somebody. And it's going to be against the Wave as Clayton took exception to that. Now a Wave player is down right now.
I think the Ambush are frustrated. The Ambush players are frustrated at how this weekend's gone. They've ran their little socks off all weekend for very little reward, and it's not been for the lack of trying. You know, yesterday they were pounding shots off the glass, off the net, off the boards. They got nothing in the way of reward for it, and it seemed like everything that Harrisburg hit went in. And today they've come across an excellent team, and they've tried to hang with them as best they can. You know, it's hard enough to play a game 17 hours after you finish the last one, let alone play the best team in the division.
We're working down in the corner, loses it to Renault. Clayton settles that briefly at midfield, but the Wave take right back over. Vandegrift to Renault. Renault on a 2-on-1 and broken up by Dos Santos. Slide tackles it forward for Stinson. Somebody's shoe went flying. That was Ian Bennett's. Stinson losing it to Renault in the corner. Now Renault still with it, able to get around Almeida, and McGee having to race back, but Renault shoots that into the corner, and McGee's able to cleanly get that over to Clayton.
But you know what, the Ambush have not given up. You know, they've had a hard weekend. Let's not kid ourselves. But they've not given up here. They're still having a go. They're still trying to find a silver lining to this weekend. They're still trying to find the back of the net. They're still pushing forward. You know, I do think that the character of the team is different this year.
There's a shot taken by Stinson and Felipe with the tip, but just too high. 106 seconds left in this game. Long heave forward. Pepe tracking that the whole way. Knocks it back towards JT. Headed to Stinson. Stinson up to Mike Scharf. Scharf comes in and tries to win it to JT. JT still under possession of it though. To Felipe. And Pepe. Backs up trying to win it to JT, but Ferdinand's going to steal that. Him and Ian Bennett racing away. Bennett has all the room in the world, and he's just going to walk that in to make it 6-1 for Milwaukee with just 1:13 left.
A little unfair on the Ambush, to be fair. But, you know, you leave yourselves open like that, it's going to happen. I think Scharf and JT had a little good combination before that. But, yeah, I mean, you see him Bennett, and he's got an open goal. I mean, there's not really much else to say about it, is there, Patrick? And he just adds to his total for the year.
I like that he doesn't even want to risk taking a shot from out. He's going to walk it all the way in. Might as well. With a minute left, and they get to JT. Clayton to Pepe now. Into the corner, trying to find Dos Santos, and then Pepe, a nice boot and a diving save by Lemos. Keeps it on the ground, bouncing ball finds Ricardinho. Milwaukee able to move it up the boards. Dos Santos there to steal it. And then off the bench is Zach Reggett. Reggett, a long shot and a good save by Lemos. He controls that rebound right by his knee. Milwaukee just passing around their own end. Lemos clears it down. Clayton takes it. Clayton a lot of room to work. Touched outside to Pepe. And a diving play, but Clayton takes a shot. He scores a big boot. Clayton, his second of the game, and it's 6-2.
Again, they hadn't given up. They're trying to make things happen all game, and they've huffed and they've puffed. And a little bit of reward here to send this crowd home happy.
Ambush goal has the 11th of the season.
Two hard strikes from Clayton gets him 2 goals on the game. It was a good tackle from the Wave defender, but Clayton just was able to steam in there from the penalty spot and just put his laces through it and finds the back of the net after a pretty good save at the beginning from Lemos.
Sending it all the way down is Bennett, and Pepe will carry this out, and that will do it as the Milwaukee Wave come into St. Louis on a cold Sunday afternoon, and they defeat them by the score of 6-2.
Not really much you can say about the game. A pretty routine game played by the Wave. I think if someone had said to me beforehand, hey, the Wave are going to win 6-2, I'd go, I'd nod my head and go, that's about right, especially after this real quick turnaround from the last game that the Ambush played yesterday. Credit to the Wave, they controlled everything. They allowed the Ambush to come at them. They restricted them to shots from distance. They trusted their defense. Lemos had to make a couple of saves, but even if the Ambush found a way past the defense, they still got a pretty good goalkeeper to beat. And after 4 minutes, I don't think anyone really thought that this game was going to go any other way. Testament to the Ambush players, they gave it their best. They did have opportunities to lessen the lead, but every time that I think that the Wave felt threatened that the lead was going to be pegged back, they could just go up a gear and get another goal. I think the 2 open goals, the 5th and the 6th that the Wave scored maybe flattered them, but I don't think that the Wave really had to get out of second or third gear to get the win.
As we're going to now send it down to Angela Sharp. She is with the Milwaukee Waves' Ian Bennett. Angela?
All right, thank you, guys. I got Ian Bennett down here now. Your team is impeccable on the road here, 15 wins now. What do you attribute those wins to?
Yeah, no, we're just working hard. We're coming every day on the training ground, and we're putting the work in. And defensively, I think we were sharp today, but we still gave up 2 goals and probably shouldn't have. But we're looking good. We're looking good right now. I
love how I just gave you a compliment, but you're like, man, even though we won, those 2 goals, you wish you had those back. Yeah, we're trying to get perfection. Obviously, we know it's tough to do, but we definitely don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. So, but I mean, when we go into the bigger games and the harder games, that stuff might creep in. So we want to make sure we cut that out. So we're ready to go. Now, you are the league's leading goal scorer. Is that a lot of pressure? Nah, it's not about that. It's about the wins. Goals are going to come, even if they don't, and they do. I'm just blessed, man. Happy to play on this team, and we're looking good, man. These guys are a great bunch of guys. The coaching staff's been doing a fantastic job, and we're just having fun. I know you're striving for perfection. So this week, what are you going to work on to maybe get that little extra edge? No, we're going to just keep working. We're going to keep working on our fitness. Obviously, back-to-backs are always tough, 2 games in a weekend, but we just got to keep surviving, and we got to keep doing what we do and play with our swag and make sure we're having fun out there and keep dancing, and we're good. Keep dancing and play with your swag. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. And I've got Clayton with me. All right, Clayton's called in some extra help. Clayton, I'm going to have to ask you this tough question since you brought a translator here with you. Back-to-back games here tonight. What are you guys going to do to get back on track?
A gente vai continuar fazendo o que o professor Everton vem passando para nós em todas as semanas. E acho que só melhorar um pouco mais na concentração, né? E dar um pouquinho mais de importância, porque todas essas partidas são partidas de finais, né? Que todas tá em jogo a disputa do playoff, né? Então vamos agora descansar para amanhã já voltar aos treinamentos para melhorar no próximo jogo.
He said that we're gonna do whatever our coach says and just try to focus a little bit more on our preparation for next games, and because every single game count, and these 2 games counted a lot, so we just got to get back on track.
I feel like he said a lot more words than you did, but okay. All right, now you had a couple goals tonight. What are you going to do to maybe get a couple more next time?
Você fez alguns gols hoje. O que você pretende fazer para os próximos jogos para fazer mais gols?
Pretendo em todos os jogos estar bem posicionado para ajudar meus companheiros de equipe, né? Ninguém consegue fazer um gol sozinho, nem vencer e nem disputar uma partida sozinho. Graças a Deus hoje eu fui feliz, recebi a assistência dos meus companheiros e graças a Deus eu consegui fazer esses 2 gols. Trocaria os 2 gols pela vitória, né? Mas é uma vitória pessoal, né? Com esses 2 gols, mas para mim é sempre mais importante a vitória.
He said that we can't do it by ourselves. So he appreciates the help of his teammates, but he just wants to be in a good position to always be able to help his teammates.
I love it. And the last question, what do you think about all these Ambush fans?
Fantastic, you know. St. Charles are family arena, my second house, you know. Very, very happy in every games. Thank you, every fans.
See, and I got that one. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
All right, I think, you know, we go back to the Ian Bennett interview. He mentioned it there. They're not happy about the 2 goals they conceded because they know they're striving for perfection, and the defense is going to have to be a little bit stronger to cut out any mistakes that they have, because they're going to be facing a lot tougher games down the road in the playoffs. They've already got an eye on the playoffs and what they need to do to take the crown from Baltimore, who are the current champions. But a real professional performance by them tonight. I can't help but be impressed by that team. And, you know, it's just that the Ambush have got to face them 2 more times.
So Milwaukee able to pull away with the 6-2 win over the St. Louis Ambush. For you Milwaukee Wave fans, this is the start of a 3-game homestand after this game. It starts on Saturday, March 9th at 1 o'clock versus the Orlando Seawolves, then Sunday, March 17th versus the St. Louis Ambush at 1, and then finally Saturday, March 23rd at 6 before coming back to St. Louis on Friday, March 29th, and that is the next home game for the St. Louis Ambush, Friday, March 29th at 7:30 here at the Family Arena. Meanwhile, the Ambush will have 3 straight away games in Florida, Milwaukee, and Kansas City. You can join us on that Kansas City road trip Saturday, March 23rd at 7 o'clock. Find more information at stlouisambush.com or stlambush.com. As this telecast on MASL was granted by the Major Arena Soccer League, any use and/or rebroadcast requires the express written consent of the MASL. For Matt Bird and the entire production team, I'm Patrick Kelly. Thanks for watching.
Oh!
Shot and goal!
That was arena soccer perfection.
With an absolute golazo!
Goal! As good a goal as you can see.
That was a heat-seeking missile.
Oh my goodness, Frank Tayu scores. Oh, heartbreaker